I operate at the intersection of two fields, neuroscience and full-stack engineering. And for the last 2 decades, both fields have agreed on one thing. The bottleneck is context switching. For the last 3 years, we've been using copilots. They helped us type faster, sure, but I still had to hold the entire system architecture in my working memory. I was still the CPU. Google released anti-gravity, and looking at the architecture, I can tell you, the copilot era is dead. We have entered the agentic era. I'm Narottam, and with Amita, we are going to break down the first tool that doesn't just write code, it actually thinks about it.
To understand why this is a platform shift and not just a feature update, we need to look at the architecture of reasoning. Previous tools failed because of 2 specific limitations: context amnesia and sensory deprivation. The Context Horizon legacy tools used RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. They guessed which files mattered. As you can see, RAG is lossy. If the model misses a dependency in a file 3 folders up, it hallucinates. Anti-gravity changes the physics by utilizing Gemini 3 Pro's 2 million token context window. It doesn't retrieve your code, it inhabits it. It holds the entire project state, API specs, database schema, documentation in active RAM. This enables global reasoning. But the real breakthrough is native multimodality. Previous models were blind architects. They wrote code but never saw the result. Gemini 3 processes pixels as natively as text. When anti-gravity spawns an agent, it launches a headless browser. It looks at the UI it just built. It compares the rendered pixels against the design spec. This visual feedback loop is the only reason we can finally trust an agent to work asynchronously. It validates the outcome, not just the syntax.
Now let's talk about the execution. Because global reasoning sounds great in a paper, but in production, it looks like artifacts. This is the manager view. I don't write code here. I define objectives. Yesterday, I finally tackled a project I've been putting off for 2 years. Exam Buddy. It's an adaptive learning platform. The core logic requires a custom spaced repetition algorithm that adjusts based on user error rates. I didn't want to write the mathematical boilerplate for the algorithm, so I told the agent, implement the SuperMemo 2 algorithm, but modify it for weighted topic clusters. Because of the multimodality Amita mentioned, the agent didn't just write the Python function. It spun up a 16-it run 100 mock quizzes. It sent me a graph artifact showing the learning curve to prove the algorithm worked. I didn't debug the math. I verified the behavior. That took 1 hour. The barrier to entry for complex algorithmic work didn't just drop, it evaporated.
Narottam succeeded with Exam Buddy because he gave the agent a clear mathematical objective. But there is a trap here. If you go home and treat anti-gravity like a standard chatbot, you will fail. You will generate spaghetti code at light speed. To operate at Narottam's level, you must accept an ontological shift. You are no longer a writer. You are an architect. We use a framework called Spec-Driven Development, SDD. A prompt in anti-gravity is not a question. It is a mission profile. You must define role. You are a senior data engineer. Constraint. Use strict mode. Verification. Prove it works with a screenshot.
And to scale that architect mindset, you need governance. I don't repeat those constraints every time. I use a constitution. This is a file named codegenerationguide.md that sits in my project root. It's not for humans, it's for the agents. It says, always use TypeScript. Never hard code secrets. If you write logic, you must generate a unit test. This file ensures that even when I'm sleeping, the agents are coding by my standards.
One final warning. Anti-gravity gives agents access to your terminal. That is a vector for indirect prompt injection. If your agent browses a website that contains hidden malicious text and you have turbo mode enabled, it can exfiltrate your environment variables. The protocol, localhost. Turbo mode is safe. Open web. Auto execution must be off.
The tool is here. The barrier is gone. But the skill set has shifted from syntax to system design. The future belongs to those who can write the clearest specifications and the strongest constitutions. You are out of excuses. Download Anti-Gravity. Understand the shift. See you in the next one.